All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game, and we are at 67,000 as of recording this. We are so close to potentially pushing towards all-time highs on Bitcoin, but what does all-time highs mean for the market? When does retail come through the door? When do everyone's interest in Bitcoin start spiking up from traditional markets, people hitting you up asking where to buy? What do you do at that point in time? And where can you expect the money to trickle down once we hit all-time highs? Because all-time highs are typically when altcoins will start getting more liquidity because people are looking to pivot to that next play. So what are we looking at here? If we break that 68,000 level, we hit all-time highs. I'm going to go over that in today's show, as well as some altcoins. I think there's some of them that are beaten down today, actually, and that are great entries. We'll go over that and more. So without further ado, let's get in the game. And as always, guys, they're hitting an all-time high on Bitcoin. What we need to do is drop down and smash that subscribe button. We're trying to hit that 100K before Bitcoin hits 100K at this rate. It just went up 55% in 1 month. So who knows? We might just see this thing go up another 55% in a month. Probably not, but it's crazy. Like, we look at these monthly numbers and you could literally 55% in a month. This is unprecedented. So help us out. Help us get to 100K subs before Bitcoin hits 100K. And as well, like the video. And shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. Vulcan Forge, Ultra, we have Dreams Quest, Game Starter, NordVPN, Uncaged, we have Africa Rare, we have My Lovely Planet, Funtico, as well as Linea, which I'm going to be talking about a few of these sponsors here at the end of the show. So let's go ahead and jump into it. As I said, we're literally about $1,000, give or take, away from all-time highs. 68K is the tracked all-time high here for Bitcoin. So what can we expect whenever we actually surpass all-time highs? I mean, unprecedented move for Bitcoin, 55%. Ethereum's up 54%. Even Cardano's up 51%. We have meme coins rallying up, triple digits. Shiba's up 284% on the month. So the market really is kicking up. But I do think there's a lot of good opportunities still out there. And specifically for those who have been in the game and been with us since the depths of the bear market, this is the time to lock in right now, because you lock in for the next 12 to 18 months heading into the back end of this year, early end of 2025. You need to treat this cycle like it's the last altcoin cycle to have these types of multiples, because who knows what's going to happen after this gets too popular, the ETFs, and they put out different altcoin ETFs. We don't know the future of the altcoin market. So what I would really advise, treat this cycle like it's the last. Take profits relentlessly. Don't try to time the market in every single standpoint. Take out what makes you comfortable. Leave in a little bag just in case it, keeps going up and stuff like that. But, the gaming narrative is going to keep growing. It's going to be one of the largest in all of crypto. We all believe that here. The mass adoption that a good crypto game could bring to the door it goes without, saying. I think it's huge. So have conviction. Don't get shaken out. Scale profits out relentlessly. If you don't do that, if you don't scale profits out, someone else will. So please don't let yourself take the round trip this cycle. There's so many quality games out there, game launches coming up, long-awaited token launches. So stick to the game plan. And we're trying to give you the game plan here on In the Game. And I want to go through the watch list here. We'll talk about some of the stuff that's been winning over the last couple of days. And then we're going to go over some coins that I think are some good opportunities, as well as some upcoming launches that I think you should have your eyes on. So one thing I want to cover first and foremost, Wilder World. So my favorite metaverse project out there. They have the gaming narrative, metaverse. They're up 100% over the 30 days, 80% in just a week. They have a lot of stuff coming up in the pipeline. I've actually been speaking with the team quite frequently about what they have going on. A nice 34% move on the charts here today. So shout out to Wilder World. And I think that this tweet kind of captures why something like Wilder World is now catching up to the market. Pretty much every crypto sector that was created last cycle has pumped hard. So AI, gaming, but one major exception is Metaverse. Metaverse has not had that hype. Nifty Island and Hytopia could be bucketed into this. All we need is a bit of tech and rename their company as a catalyst, talking about Meta from last cycle. But, you know, Wilder World is probably my favorite project in the metaverse niche. So this one's, I mean, really, really crushing it over this last 7 days and over the last 30 days. So shout out to Wilder World. I've been in this position since the Apple Catalyst back in the summertime. We wrote it up, took a little profits, but I still have my wild position and it is looking quite nice at this point in time. Magnum Trading, this is like a trading bot, Telegram bot. They have a lot of updates coming through the door. It was one of those, it's like super small market cap, 1.8 million. I actually really like this one. We've mentioned it a couple times. It's up 30% on the day, so quite a big move there. We have Wombat on the move. Veracity. I know a lot of people in the chat ask me about Veracity. Why wasn't it moving? Why didn't we get it's not moving with the market hustle. Should I pivot out of it? It's the same thing with like an Ultra. When things don't really move, the liquidity will come around. And if you notice here, it was on a downtrend since December. It got back down to 0.005. It's a 3x since then. So shout out to anyone who had conviction and held on to their bag there of Veracity. And then on the metaverse side, just to kind of piggyback on that tweet that I just showed you, there is the 𝗨𝗏𝗘 node sale going on right now. So if you want more exposure to nodes in the metaverse space, you could go check that out. Make sure you get to the official links here, but their node sale is live currently. So if you think the metaverse narrative is going to kick back up, I like what 𝗨𝗏𝗘 is doing. That could also be a play for you. We have BAG. So this is a new altcoin that's building on Blast, and it's actually the same team from Decentral Games, the poker project formerly that operated within Decentraland. So what they're doing, they just announced today partnership with Virtue Poker. So Virtue Poker and BAG are going to be running some collaborative tournaments here. And I have to say, like, love GambleFi projects, you know, Based, Dubs, Kaneko, BoxBet, and Virtue Poker and BAG are probably going to be ranking up. I mean, I've been talking about Virtue Poker for quite some time. I have my eye on the Blast ecosystem. I saw a great tweet today. If you're fading Blast right now, it's going to be like Blur. When Blur first launched, people were like, not for me. And then Blur took over the NFT space. It basically put OpenSea into oblivion of irrelevance, right? So I would not fade Blast entirely. Right now, it's going to have its, you know, kinks and it's going to have things going wrong with it. But at the same time, I think it's one to at least pay attention to. And I think BAG would be one that I am definitely keeping my eyes on. I mean, otherwise, there's a lot of stuff performing super well on the 7 days. Like I said, we have 𝗏𝗏𝗜𝗏 at 0.002 now. Gala's been joined in the bull run here as of late. We have Superverse up another 30% and up 127% on the 30 days. We have Champs, one of my favorite low cap games. I mean, these guys have been building relentlessly. They have a ton of active players. A lot of rewards going out to the community. So 40% for them on the month, 5 million market cap. And this is also a message I want to throw out there, because what I would be doing right now in this market. So I got a good question today in one of my Discord groups. Hustle, if someone was just coming into the market today, what would you recommend them to get into? And that's, you know, it is a tough question, right? So right now, there's only two types of coins I would be freshly entering. Number one would be the top gaming protocols. So let's just call it Solana, AVAX, IMX, Beam, Ronin, Superverse. We'll cap it there, right? Top gaming protocols, the blockchains that these games operate on, the infrastructure. Number two category would be games. Now, I would probably allocate into Prime the hardest, but at $15, hard for me to say that, right? Because we got in here at $2.77, right? So that has run over 5x since our entry. So this is where it gets tricky. So what I would actually be doing, I would allocate, if I'm brand new into crypto, into those top projects, like I said, IMX, Beam, Avalanche, Superverse, etc. I might pick one or two games to kind of ride up. I think 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is a good one because it's got that Launchpad narrative to it. Maybe a studio like a Myria or a Vulcan Forged, for example. Games like Heroes of Mavia, I think could also still, you know, continue its run. But then I would filter to the lower market cap stuff. And I'd go down here and say, okay, you know, Champs is a lively game. They have a great ecosystem, great community, 5 million market cap. That could run. Virtue Poker, 4.7 million. That could have a big run as well. I would look at stuff like Kaneko, Game Starter at 8 million, Unix at 9.5 million, Senate at 11 million, Based at 12 million market cap. Cap Games, shout out to them. They're building over on Blast, 13 million market cap. I would be isolating the top protocols for safety, like your Bitcoin of your gaming portfolio. But I would also look at these smaller cap coins. That would be the only things I'm going to allocate into right now. But that's because we've been into the market, since the lows. Like, we caught a lot of these positions at the very, very bottom. So my strategy, if I'm talking to someone who just got here, allocate into those top chains, the base layers of gaming, but then also take a few stabs here at some low caps with some high upside, like a Domi, like a Mixmob, like a BoxBet, and maybe like a Based Games, those types of projects. ScarQuest, this one has a lot of upside in my opinion. Like, that's how I would allocate currently. I would leave the mid caps. Maybe it's just risky because, like I said, a lot of those mid caps have already rose quite a bit in the market. So I wouldn't want to steer someone into those. So it's a tough line to kind of cross and draw the line there as far as what I would get into, what I wouldn't. But I'd be focusing on high market caps for stability, low market caps for that upside, and making sure they're quality. I wouldn't just allocate into any given thing out there into the market right now. And that's what makes it tricky, right? But just a few weeks ago, we gave you guys this position, Wrapped Balance AI. And this one has over doubled in just a couple of weeks. If you see when we caught this position here on February 24th, this is like 10 days ago. And this one's already doubled. And the reason we took this position was market cap. No other reason, right? This was an undervalued play, AI, and the market cap was like 20 million at that time. Now the market cap's 45 million, but this is one I'm more than confident could hit $20, $30. So I'm completely cool having risk exposure here on a recently entered position. So I'm always going to be bringing you guys in the chat the low value, the low market cap, undervalued altcoins that I come across, and how should you play this all-time high rally. So once we actually see Bitcoin hit its all-time high, which who knows, seems like it could happen this week, we might have some resistance on the charts, but it really does look like we're heading towards those all-time highs. I'm hyper focused on the rotation. Ethereum is up 55% this month, and so is Bitcoin. That money will trickle down. What people are overlooking, however, the ETF money is stuck in the ETF. They're not on chain. So all that liquidity coming through the door with these main institutions, yes, they're buying up Bitcoin. Great for Bitcoin holders, great for anyone who's been a long-term incumbent into the space. But the ETF money, they're not about to pull it and go invest in meme coins, right? Like, they're into Bitcoin ETF for the security that their financial institution is giving them. So there will be a capital rotation. I think it might not be as crazy of a rotation as we've seen in the past from Bitcoin, but I think Ethereum running 55% in the month also gives us a very strong case that altcoins are about to have a major run if we keep pushing up the Bitcoin price here, which, to be quite honest with you, I think is going to happen. More retail's coming through the door now. More people are asking me about crypto again. When I see people around Miami now and we talk about crypto, it's like, oh, that's doing super well now, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it's getting there. So once everyone starts texting and calling my phone, asking me how to buy, that's when I'm going to start unloading positions. All jokes aside, I think we're about to have a major altcoin rally here coming up, and I think we're well prepared here on In the Game to run up that rally and be able to capitalize and make this cycle exactly what we told you at the bottom of the market. Like, I remember at the bear market, I had to go many times and say, if you make it through this, you will be, many miles ahead of the incumbent that comes in at the next top of the market. People who didn't, it pays to pay attention, and time in the market is beating timing the market. And that's exactly what played out. So shout out to all of you guys that have been with us since the bear. And even if you're new, we are going to help you get into this and be able to ride this up and be able to capitalize and take profits on undervalued projects. So really excited to see this capital rotation. And then if you're, if you're thinking a lot of these tokens currently have had too much of a run, I would be looking at upcoming TGEs. So a lot of token generation events coming up. We had Portal, which absolutely crushed it. We have block games, Aether, Carrot from My Pet Hooligan. There's so many different tokens here launching. And we just got a date for Entangle. This one's very cool. It's like a layer 0-esque omni-chain type of project. I haven't talked about this one before. I am an early investor, but this one I think is going to really open some eyes. I think they're going to crush this. So the NGL token is launching March 13th. So that's coming up here in just 9 days. We have the Aether Games TGE in 3 days. 3 days away. And they just partnered up with the Wheel of Time, the big IP. Like they have everything going for them here at Aether. I think this one's also going to do very well. And then Space is an upcoming NFT marketplace gamified project. I think this one could really crush it as well. Kind of like Entangle. It's a little more under the radar. So those are a few I want to put on your radar for the coming month. And as well, we have Arcade. I had them on the show last week. If you missed that one, go check it out. Aether, this one's going to print, not Aether Games, but there's Aether. They have this node sale going on, their token. I think that's going to be a very, very solid project. Block Lords, Easy. We have Chrono Forge. We have the Overworld token eventually going to launch. DOP, I think on the AI narrative is going to crush it. Vendetta. There's a lot of stuff coming to market. So if you feel like the current gaming market has run too much, which quite frankly, I think there's plenty of opportunities out there. Most of the gaming coins have still not done the multiples that we're going to see from these coins. So you have plenty of time to capitalize. But if you're a little bit fearful that you've missed a lot of this rally, there are plenty of new tokens coming to market. And some of these, based on where they launch on valuation and the sentiment behind them, we saw Mavia go from $2 to $10. Like these new launches, depending on the narrative and how much it's on your feed and how much people are talking about it, that's the ones that are going to have the biggest runs. So we will keep you updated on that as well, as always, on In the Game. And quickly on some sponsor updates, GameStarter just announced a partnership with Neurochain AI, bringing AI and gaming together, opening up a wealth of opportunities. Neurochain is a DAI infrastructure for so I've decentralized AI is I think what that would mean for seamless building, deploying, and hosting of AI dApps powered by the community. So excited to see maybe some AI integration there with GameStarter. And they've just been really crushing it. Like the quality of launches that they've been putting out, the percentage gains that they're doing, it's been awesome to see. So shout out to GameStarter. We have Ultra, which had a nice price appreciation recently. Shout out to Ultra. Same thing with Veracity. People were waiting for that liquidity. The liquidity did come around. So shout out to Ultra on that. And the people who had conviction and stayed in their bags because they got rewarded there. But Project Citadel is their flagship game. If you want a little bit of a scoop, this is just the second time that they've done this inside the Citadel Intel session number 2. This is going to be, as of recording this, tomorrow, March 5th at 4 p.m. UTC with the lead community manager and the co-founders and production directors of their flagship game. So go check that out 100%. We have Africa Rare, who just launched their token. So big shout out to them. It's available on Mexi and QuickSwap. This is where Africa's rich heritage meets the digital frontier. So the amount of time spent in this ecosystem is pretty crazy, like 22,000 hours spent in the ecosystem. There's virtual real estate, different types of philanthropic initiatives. And speaking with the founder of this project last week, it was really cool to kind of see the vision and exactly what they're doing. We have Dreams Quest, which keeps posting dev updates and getting people ready for their full game launch. And I'm stoked for them because I think they have a lot to prove and are really going to shock people whenever people see what's exactly been built under the hood, not just on the game side, but the game, the entertainment side with like the TV, movies, stuff like that. I really think that they have a lot cooking behind the scenes. So go check out their recent updates over on DreamQuest NFT is their Twitter here. And then last but certainly not least, our newest sponsor here on In the Game is Linea. And Linea is, I mean, this is a really, really solid project. If you guys don't know Linea, I mean, they're all over the timeline. They're all over everyone's feed. And I think they're going to be one of the biggest projects of this cycle. But we see here, for example, in the gaming side of things, just to bring it back to In the Game, they recently partnered with one of our favorite projects, Citus. They're hosting the Linea Voyage by Linea Build, which is a virtual event with thrilling quests, challenges, and rewards. So you can actually go jump into this now up until about a month from now, April 3rd, and you can earn some rewards, 𝗨𝗏 and Linea. And I'll update more on Linea in future shows as well. But guys, I think we're in a great spot in this market. I mean, obviously, with the way Bitcoin's looking at the moment in time, how could we not think we're in a great spot? But otherwise, sitting in altcoins right now, I'm ready for that next capital rotation. We caught the lows on so many of these tokens that the position we're in now is more of a set and forget. Like literally, I've set and forget those positions for so long, but now it's going to get to the time whenever that rotation comes down, I'm going to be scaling out some profits, but there are new positions we're going to be taking. We're going to update you guys on the show as soon as those come up, just like we did with Wrapped BAI here, over a 2x in a matter of 10 days. So when these coins come up, we will absolutely be presenting them. But right now is a different approach to the market. I would only be buying low cap stuff that I do think is just so dirt cheap at this point in the market. So that's kind of how I'm playing it at this moment in time. I would kind of draw the line maybe at like 30 mil market cap or lower. I think that Dubs may be an exception. I think GameSwift has a run left in it, but I'd probably be looking below this line. So Honeyland, Creo, Decimated has a lot in store. I'm really excited for what they have going on. Playable Games, Wombat, BoxBet, Domi Online. Those are some of the examples that I would be isolating still because I think they have a big run ahead of them. But otherwise, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm looking forward to see this altcoin rotation after we hit all-time highs. And quite frankly, I think it'll happen this week. We will see. It could even happen by the end of today, the way things are going. But guys, like the video, subscribe. I'm going to hop out of here, and I'll be back on Wednesday with another show. As always, play well, my friends.